Okay, so we're going to talk about irregular verbs. Okay. Okay, so the last time we talked about irregular verbs, we addressed which two? Which two? Sum esse fui futurus, which means to be, and what's the other one? Possum, posse potui, to be able. Okay. Today we are going to treat or deal with volo, nolo, ferro, and ire. Okay. So let's take these. Now, what are the two tenses that we're accountable for right now? Good. The present is the present tense. The imperfect tense is, like, how could we describe it? It's okay. So we translate it wasing. What else? Matthew? Okay, it's got a BA in the form usually. Okay, anything else? Yes, it's part of the present verb system. Very good. Okay, and it's a type of past tense. How many other types of past tense does Latin have, Asher? 4. Yep. Okay, so let's deal with this now. Let's do Wolo first. Okay, now, this was on your quiz today, or you studied this word. Wolo, wele, wolui. What does it mean? To want or to wish. All right, so here's how we're going to do it. We are going to do the present on one side and the imperfect on the other. Make sense? Okay. So I'm just going to start writing and you please copy. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. No. Sneeze. All right. So again, remember, because these are irregular, that just simply means that they're not going to follow the typical conventions for conjugating out a verb, but that doesn't mean that the endings are not going to be what we would normally see, okay? So these are the present tense endings, OST, mustis, nt. All right, now if that holds true, what are my imperfect endings? Who'd like to rattle those off for me? Asher. Good, okay. So let's go through and we'll do that. Okay, and just as before, the endings are the same as what we would expect, but the only difference is just that the rest of the verb is kind of like, a little different. But c'est la vie. That's irregulars for you. They just do that. Okay, any questions? No? All right, just so you are aware, there are actually no imperative forms of this verb. What's an imperative again, Asher? It's a command, right? Okay. The other verbs that we'll deal with today do, in fact, have imperative forms, though. All right, may I scroll? There is another verb that you could probably use instead. You would probably say, so there's another verb to wish or to desire. It's opto, optare, optavi, optato. So you could say like opta or optate. Yeah, so but you would use another word. For this particular verb, it doesn't exist, which is weird, but it kind of just is what it is. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, while you're writing, I'm going to move on though. All right, so the opposite of wolo is, okay. Yep. Okay, to not want. All right, and same as before, we're going to do the present on one side, and we're going to do the imperfect on the other. And what's super annoying is that this actually is just like 2 words, rather. Okay. Yeah, so here we go. Buckle up, kiddos. Yep. Yep. I know, it's kind of annoying. Well, yes and no, because now we're going back to 1 word. But then we go back to 2 words, non-vultus. It's not very consistent. But that's why it's irregular, because it's weird. Could you imagine if you like walked around describing people as irregular? It's like, hey, you're irregular. Instead of saying you're weird. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Let me rewrite that because it's a little weird. Jeez. Yep. Yeah, so I'm sorry that this is annoying, but it kind of just like is what it is. Okay. Now, what's nice about the imperfect is it's only just 1 word rather than 2 the whole way through. Why are you talking about American parties when we should be writing our Latin conjugation? Okay, but that has nothing to do with what we're doing. Okay, so same as before, the endings are fairly regular, and it's not that bad. No, but when I give them to you, you should write them down. No. Because remember, the vowel before third person does not have usually. Why? It's just because it is. I don't know. There's like Yep. Which is weird. Yep. Yep. I don't know. There's no. I know. I think it is weird, but I guess. Okay. Why do you keep Bill? I constantly hear your voice as a stream of not Latin things. Do you know how frustrating that is from this side? Something tells me I need assigned seats again because we can't handle the responsibility of choosing our seats wisely. I know, he's just talking out loud, so it's like maybe we should just put him in the corner. No, we'll put you in like the corner. The timeout corner. I'll make one. Okay, the next one we're going to deal with is ferro fere. Does anyone know the last two principal parts? Tulilatus, yeah. Oh. Okay, ferro fere tulilatus, it means to what? Carry, bring, or bear. I mean, no, because remember, exclamations, any punctuation is an English convention. The Romans didn't use them. But for us, like when you see an exclamation, it is possible that there's an imperative nearby, at least in this textbook series. Okay, so same deal. We're going to do the present first, and then we'll do the imperfect. I'm scrolling. Can I go? Yes. Okay. Yep. It's weird. So just grin and bear it, I suppose. Okay, but the endings are enough to get you by, at the very least. All right, and then again, same as before, it's one, there's nothing, it's a little simpler. It's just fere plus your imperfect endings. Okay, and there are imperatives for this. Yeah, remember Dic, Duc, Fac, Fair, Julius Caesar has no hair. This is one of those. All right, so it's going to be fair or ferte for the imperatives. Yes? Don't worry. If I'm not fine, you will know. All right, the last one is eo ire. And then we're done. So hang in there. Just one more to do. Okay, so we've got eo ire. What are the last two principal parts of this verb? Yes! You guys are awesome. Didn't you have Latin before? I guess that means nothing. Okay, again, we're going to do the present tense on the one side and the imperfect tense on the other. Blah, blah, blah. What? Yes, it could be. It could also be, instead of just we, it could also be ee, which is super annoying. Yeah, or like this, we or e. Yeah. That's not what you said before, though. You said this. You said e. That's not a thing. That's not a word. Okay. If you teach Latin, I hope I'm dead. Brutal. Truthful. Okay, here we go. Who knows, by the time you get through grad school, I might just be dead. I am quite old, so. No way, man. It is weird. It does seem that way. And be careful too, because for whatever reason, this is the verb that gives students the most difficulty. Just because it's so short and it looks so weird, students are not accustomed to seeing that. So just be aware, eo ire, that causes it's a problem spot for a lot of kids. I know, right? It's like weird. Okay, and there are imperatives here, of course. It's either just e or ite. It's weird. It feels weird, right? Okay. Yeah. But once again, as long as you are able to identify your endings, like at least you'll be able to tell who is doing whatever it is. Like the word e, technically there is no ending. It kind of just like is. And as far as I'm aware, I think this is the only word that's like that. I don't know that there's any others that I can think of, at least offhand. I believe it's the shortest verb in like all of Latin, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I mean, there are a whole bunch of those. You could shorten it. Here, this. H, that's the shortest word because it's technically just a breath. Okay. Are we good with this? All right, so again, because these are irregulars and they don't follow the normal conventions of regular conjugated verbs, this is just a memorization game. Okay, you need to be able to recognize them, but you should also kind of commit them to memory. Okay, they are important and they do show up, especially this one. People get this one wrong all the time. So don't fall into that trap. No, you should not draw the circle. Okay, so that's our grammar lesson. I'm gonna stop the recording.